I had stumbled across Sloan Bella again, and it wasn't for Diddy this time, but I guess you could say someone close to Diddy, or in the industry, another higher up that's right next to him. And it took me by surprise. I'm not going to lie. Because she actually channeled you know what? We're going to get right into it. This is Sloan Bella channeling Jay-Z's energy. I want y'all to listen to what she says here. We're going to do a full breakdown of this because there was some things in here that caught my attention and should catch yours.
Hi everyone, I'm Sloan from SloanBella.com, and I'm back with another energetically channeled video. Now this person is alive currently, and this is the energy around the circumstances. Now I will tell you right off the bat, immediately, I pick up the year 2036. Now that's, what is that, 12 years from now? So 2036 is a key playing time for the ending of this person's reign.
Now, see, that's not very long from now. If y'all really want to think about it, that's only 10 years from now. 12, like you said, 12 years from now. So I'll be close to his age when I'm hearing about this. So I'll be remembering when this is happening. So, I mean, pretty sure we're going to be here that long. But I'm going to be remembering that date.
Of power, systematically following through until that time frame, but completely eradicated at that time. So the energy of this person's empire is slowly collapsing. Now, when you look at a person's empire or what they produce or what they create, that extends to family members and everybody down the line, okay? So systematically, which is really interesting because what I get is this particular person who has acquired, probably was the first hip hop billionaire in 2019, so they say, has acquired so much wealth and power over the masses, along with his very famous wife. And when you look at it, they're very famous children, because of course, when the parents are celebrities, the children come into play in the public eye. But this particular person is winding down energetically. And I see a complete brick wall shut right in front of this person. So no matter how they try to get around what is coming for them, by the year 2036, we are done. So 2030, 2036. So as soon as we hit the agenda of 2030, 6 years later, we are done. So this particular powerful person no longer has reign over what is going on in the public eye, okay? Or
she always gets me how she talks to about these people as if she really has no idea. Like when she talked about who was it? Kim Porter, and she mentioned Offset. She kept seeing Takeoff, but didn't know his name. She kept seeing Takeoff. Kim Porter was mentioning Takeoff Spirit as well as Offset, but she had no idea who he was. Saint Rick Ross. Like, she'll name people without knowing who they actually are. So that's a genuine showing that she really is channeling the energy, being that she has no idea who these people are.
In the music industry, there is a complete takedown of this energy right now. And I go through so many people around him. It's not just him. He's the one that took the bait and took the power. But remember, when you take the power, they're always coming for your power. We see that everywhere we go. We see that in any business, little restaurants, all the way up to huge corporations, to huge public celebrities. So who am I talking about? I'm talking about Jay-Z, if you didn't figure it out, with his very famous wife. And there was a lot of stuff online that had him as a Pisces rising. You know me, I'm not going to buy that when you're that articulate. He's pretty articulate and pretty focused. Perhaps that's not going to be Pisces rising. I found more other sources that put him at a Virgo rising, which makes perfect sense to me given that he married a Virgo and that Virgo plays an integral role in his power. So I'm talking about Jay-Z, who was born on December 4th of 1969. He is an earth rooster. Now it's interesting because roosters are the bossies of the zodiac, Chinese astrology. They are the directors, the dictators. So they're going to tell you how it's done, which really, when you're in a position of power career-wise, this would be something that would be a benefit to your personality. So he is an earth rooster, controlled and possessed by earthbound things, okay? So the things that we manifest on earth, you know, the money, the power, the fame that we're taught here. We're born into families and we just grow up and we're told, you know, you want to aspire to be this guy because he's a billionaire. And they all have fake stories. Now, I want to point that out. Fake stories about the nonsense on how they started and how they got to where they are. That's not entirely true. So I never want anybody to believe these stories of rags to riches bullshit, because it's bullshit. Anyway, energetically speaking, Jay-Z is a Libra moon, sun in Sagittarius, and Virgo rising. Now, what I found so interesting is he has Pluto on the ascendant. It's not a tight conjunction, but it is within orb of a conjunction, okay? So orb degree of a conjunction. So when we have Pluto close to the ascendant, number one, that acts, regardless of the sign it's in, okay, it acts like a Scorpio rising. So we are never going to know the truth about this person, because Pluto on the ascendant is like, I either invite you in or I shut the door, okay? The door is being shut on him right now, by the way. Anyway, he is a Virgo rising, Pluto in Virgo on the ascendant. Now, Pluto is out of sign conjunction to the moon in Libra. Beyonce has a Libra rising, according to online, and she is a Virgo. So this makes perfect sense. Her sun sits on his ascendant. His moon, it's a mutual reception. His moon sits on her ascendant. On an emotional level, she is exactly what he envisions for himself. Exactly that. Now, he has an out of sign conjunction from Pluto to the moon, and then conjunct Uranus. Now, that is very hard to control in Libra. It's also unique. So the way that he thinks on an emotional level, and the way that his women are, starting with his mother, all the way back to his mother, and any female relatives that kind of shaped who he is, it's an ingenious type of energy because it's connected to Uranus. And Uranus in Libra is creatively, well, number one, it's visually, creatively, artistically, aesthetically pleasing to the public.
All that being said, and this is not me, I guess you could take it as a joke too. It's kind of why Foxy didn't stay around. Foxy didn't fit what he was envisioning for the future whatsoever. Foxy Brown did not, she didn't fit the mold of what he was seeing that he saw with Beyonce in the future. As far as the energy on a spiritual level for himself, he remember what Jay-Z is always rapped about leaving the game. He's never rapped about staying in the game, whether that's the game he was in outside of rap, whether it was in the game he was in inside rap. He always talked about leaving. He never talked about staying in that one place. Therefore, like I said, Foxy didn't necessarily fit that mold because he didn't never see what he could do with Foxy that he's doing with Beyonce. What he's doing with Beyonce, if y'all haven't noticed, Jay has pretty much took the back seat and just took control over her business. By him taking control over her business, he's basically taking control over her, as well as he's just making sure that the kids are good and she's good, so therefore he is good. That's what she's talking about by him piggybacking off of the Virgo energy spiritually. He's basically just catering to Beyonce's energy to make sure everything else is good beneficially for him.
So there would be that. Now, Uranus is conjunct the second house. You can be damn sure this man uses astrology. I'm going to say that. He uses astrology and he makes his money in unique and odd ways, which he does have facets in clothing and alcohol, a lot like the P. Diddy shit, which is code for I need to get rid of mass amounts of money from other type of work I'm doing. And how do I do that? I open up businesses and I run my money through these different businesses. This is just what I see with this. So he's got Uranus conjuncting the second house. Neptune conjunct Venus in Scorpio. Oh my God. Okay, so anyway, Venus in Scorpio is a sneaky one because it starts off all sexual for the purpose of sex. Like, I want to get with you. Neptune is there, which adds a spiritual element and or a delusional element, okay? Could be delusional or spiritual or spiritually delusional. Like, this is my queen and I'm her king and we're going to be together as they act in public. In the lay terms with people in day-to-day life, Venus conjunct Neptune can be very difficult because you don't see the person as they are. You can hold them on a pedestal and devalue them equally as quickly, which can be very difficult for the relationship if you're the one being devalued or put on a pedestal, because nobody wants either one. You just want to be seen as you are, actually, technically. So we have Sun and Mercury conjunct in Sag. Now this is a smart man. This is smart and it's articulate. It's in Sagittarius. Now, because he's born on December 4th and has a Saturn retrograde in Taurus in the 8th house. So Saturn retrograde instantly, automatically removes the father's influence from your life. Now, what do I mean by that? It can mean you have a working father who does not have time to come home and spend time with the kids. It can mean that your father's locked up in jail. It can mean that your father has no interest in being a father and or karmically wasn't told he was the father of you. So it can bring about so much in a person's chart. But the person who owns the Saturn retrograde, meaning the person with Saturn retrograde in their chart, it basically opens them up to the idea that they walk alone without the support of the father figure, whomever it is. It doesn't mean other people don't step in, all of that. But the father of origin, the birth father, is absent. And subsequent fathers after are absent. The 4th of the month, every month, all the way from January all the way through to Pisces, like beginning of the year to the end of the year, which is December, actually not Pisces, from Aries to Pisces. I was doing from the first of the year. Anyway, Aries is actually the first of the year. We know this, but they screw with us with the calendar. Anyway, from Aries to Pisces, anybody born on the 4th of the month is absent a father figure. And as a result of, makes their own creative expression, if they are male, as what they are supposed to be. So they pass.
So again, remember, she knows who these people are, but she does not know who these people are. Okay, for the sake of the fact that she has to channel their energy, I can see why she has to go in things in more of a, not naive, but more in a, not oblivious. I guess you could say oblivion. Because deriving from the word, a derivative of the word oblivious, you have to put yourself in oblivion and almost mindlessness of who these people actually are so you can see their true self. So within that, she gets the information of him, of knowing that he did not have his father from the beginning of his upbringing. That's very interesting in itself that she was able to find that out as well.
Themselves over somebody else's energy, paternally or father figure wise. Saturn retrograde adds to that. So we have a 4 and we have a Saturn retrograde. Then when we have Saturn in Taurus, oh my God. Okay, so Saturn is ruled by Capricorn naturally, or rules Capricorn, which is an earth sign, rules the 10th house.
And I just want to say real quick for those that are watching right now, she's going to get into the meat and potatoes shortly. So just be patient with us, okay? She's going to get into the meat and potatoes very soon. I know y'all a little bugged out with all the astrology and everything. And some of y'all, if y'all are into the spirituality of astrology, you should be listening very close. But for those that are not, I just want to disclaimer, she's about to get into the meat and potatoes. So you might want to pay attention and get your forks ready.
When you have Saturn in another earth sign, and especially Taurus, which they say rules Venus, but I actually believe rules the earth. So what we do here on earth. So when you have Saturn in Taurus, okay, in the 8th house. This is earthly pleasures. Earthly pleasures, Saturn in the 8th is often a significant factor, and it's retrograde, in the abuse of a child, okay? So Saturn in the 8th. They are privy to things that they shouldn't be, sexually, financially, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, okay, that they should not be privy to early on in life. And with Saturn in Taurus and then Venus in Scorpio with Neptune, this would be something that was presented to him probably around the age of 6, looking at his chart, if this is the chart that is actually his. It's so hard to know because they just, whatever. So that's just a basic outline of the chart. Now, when you look at Beyonce's chart, I have it written down somewhere here. When you look at Beyonce's chart, Beyonce has a Scorpio moon. That Scorpio moon sits right in between his Neptune and his Venus. So on an emotional level, she's willing to play into the delusion that he presents to her, if you would like to word it that way, which I'm going to word it that way. And then we have Sun in Virgo. So her sun, she's born on September 4th, her sun in 1981, her sun in Virgo sits literally on his ascendant. So she is looking for the expression of that kind of man. And
so with her saying that, I want y'all to listen to the song Partition. Now, ironically, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Jay wrote a good part of that song also. So I want y'all to listen to that song Partition over again and then think about what Sloan Bella said.
Because his Pluto is conjuncting her sun, which sits on his ascendant, he is in control of her, whether she thinks so or not, whether she's the moneymaker or not. Shake your moneymaker, she is the moneymaker. He is the one procuring the moneymaker out in public. So she was handed off to him. This was a buyout deal, so to speak. So we have that. We have her with a 20-degree Libra ascendant, which puts his moon and Uranus onto her ascendant, okay? Like literally. So these two are together like this, like they fit. Jagged edges, piece of puzzle, they fit. They actually fit together. That's why when I saw mine, the Pisces rising, I'm like, it's not Pisces rising. That could flip it to the 7th house, but he's more like a 1st house Pluto in Virgo if I saw one. He's blunt, straightforward, speaks like, directly speaks the way that he speaks. Now, what do I see happening with him energetically? I see the next 3 years. So we are in 2024. This is whatever month this is. This is March, the beginning of 2024. So we are headed for the next 3 years, 25, 26, and 27, with the beginning initial stages of the knockdown when it comes to Jay-Z. He is not next in line. He is second to next in line. I get a real kind of focus between him, Chris Brown, and MC Hammer. Okay, so they're kind of all coming around and they're all linked. We know P. Diddy's going down. So, and that was said by his ex-wife. And that.
So I want y'all to pay close attention to that, because I know it sounds like a little bit of mumbo jumbo, like how are those three even intertwined, right? But what she's trying to say is their astrology is intertwined. So there could be things that are happening to them separate that doesn't have anything to do with them together. That's what she's trying to say. So if within these next 3 years, we are going to hear heavy event news from those three for the next 3 years is what she's trying to say.
Video I did last June. But Jay-Z is a different story because he's still attached to a hierarchy which encompasses financial, political, and just basically public. So he's not absolutely going to be taken down yet. The next 3 years, yes. There are steps where if he doesn't fall into line, he is going to be shaken up. Now, what I do see...
Real quick, I just want to also say that within the Kanye doc that I'm going to put out this weekend, yes, I said it here first, the Kanye doc is coming this weekend that people have been asking for. within the Kanye joint, I'm going to implement some of the ties that Jay has. Reason why is because it has a lot to do with why Kanye is going through what he's going through. Tying it back into this, she is very right as far as Jay has a very high connection. That is the reason why he was able to even become the CEO of Def Jam. Okay, you follow me? And I'm not talking about just Leo Cohen. Okay? I know y'all gonna say, "Oh, Leo Cohen, Steve Stout, that's who got it." It's partially Leo Cohen, but it is another gentleman that helped Leor secure that bag for Hove that we will find out.
I do see 3 years from now, him, his wife, and his kid. I don't know if there's more than one kid. There might be more than one kid. I can't remember with everybody who has kids. But anyway, him, his kid, and his wife, I see them with suitcases. And I literally see them leaving. So their residence will no longer be in the United States. This is what I'm seeing. And this happens by 2027, if not sooner. 2025 through 2027. There is a leaving of the energy here. And there.
That's kind of quick. That's kind of quick. I can't lie, that's kind of quick. So basically what she's saying is within these next 3 years, we are going to see. Now, remember what she just said. She saw Beyonce and the kids leaving. I'm going to assume there's going to be some type of, how can you say, some type of phone footage or video footage of Beyonce and Blue Ivy leaving with suitcases to go somewhere. And I guarantee you there's going to be something that comes out with Jay within these next 3 years that causes that to happen. And then there's going to be some type of rift between those two again.
Is a flipping of his personality. So what I'm seeing is a complete shift in his personality. So what does that mean? It means that on a representative way, so how I present myself outwardly, this changes. So now I change my tune, put on another mask, and I present myself outwardly in a different fashion. He thinks he can escape by doing that. If I present myself this way, the public will see me this way and nothing will happen to me. Now, he's definitely 100% energetically connected to the different hierarchies on the other side. So this man understands metaphysical principles, occult principles, how to use those principles, and how to move through different layers of energy himself.
In other words, Jay is a lot smarter than, I mean, we already know Jay's very smart, but Hove is on a different level as far as the actual scriptures. Remember, it came out, I want to say 2009 when Blueprint 3 dropped, that he was a 33rd degree Mason. When you are a 33rd degree Mason, you're a master Mason. I haven't heard any other, and I do mean I have not ever heard of any other artist in the industry becoming a 33rd degree master Mason. Now, if you want to, we'll eventually get into those things on this pod, probably. Not probably, we are. But as far as the 33rd degree Masonry, that is the highest level that you can actually achieve. As far as, I want to say, just Freemasonry and just Freemasonry alone. We're not talking about Illuminati. We're talking about just Freemasonry within the circle of Illuminati. Okay, so then we'll get to a breakdown on that later. Because that's a whole other rabbit hole that I don't want to get too far off topic. What she's talking about basically is that Jay-Z is tapped in to a lot of that, being that he is a 33rd degree master Mason. He's tapped into a lot of the energy that has catapulted him to where he is. He's learned how to master those abilities that he has, if you will. Like I said, I'm trying to be very basic and vague as I can for y'all without getting too far off topic. He's mastered certain ways that has enabled him to have the connections that he has, that enables him to get the business that he does, to mask behind what else he has going on. That is what Sloan Bella is getting to. And the things that he is going to be, I guess you could say, scolded for later on, we are going to come to find out within these next 3 years. And it's going to be something that causes Beyonce to want to remove herself from him.
No questions asked. The reason that he is in the music industry is because of his finely tuned ability to walk a line between what you and I see and where they go, which is different, which is why they have a different lifestyle than us. It's not because they're better or more creative. Understand what you're looking at when you see somebody like Jay-Z is somebody who took an opportunity, Saturn in Taurus, okay, retrograde. Somebody who took an opportunity to step out of a comfort zone and into one that they thought, and this is a greed level. I want fame, I want success, I want money. It's not just I'm a businessman. And he is using his queen, which is Queen B, Beyonce, to help him maneuver in that fashion. But it's interesting because what I see is the wax is melting on the candle. So that tells me something as I'm saying it, that these two engage in ritual expression, involved with fire, candle magic, which is really kind of novice. Like there's higher levels. Candle magic is a novice beginner way to manipulate energy, but I'm seeing them melt like wax candles. So the facade that they both have and that their family has is actually crumbling right now. You will see it within 3 years. There are legal troubles for Jay-Z that come up in November, and they come attached to another person, but not a person that you actually think, which would be P. Diddy spilling the beans as he gets dragged into court. No, it's not P. Diddy. It is somebody else. And I'm kind of swinging around to Justin Bieber. Like I'm looking at the people up there, and I'm kind of torn between Chris Brown and Justin Bieber. But I'm going the Justin Bieber way here because Bieber is involved in this sideways. Okay, so there's a sideways connection to Bieber, which I'm sure they're all in the industry, different forms of expression, but they're all in the industry. So this makes sense to me. And then when I look at Jay-Z and Beyonce, I see the fading on the candle. The wax is melting. They are what we would consider to be high-level government experiments. I'm going to put it that way. It doesn't start off that way. But that's what they are. That's the cat jumping in for her opinion. She feels like she needs to talk. Anyway, their expression is this is a government operation, and it's no longer working. So their Jay-Z will be brought back and remolded in a different form. So they really have no ability to control the outcome of what is going to be happening. Okay, this is ridiculous. Cat, hold on. Get down. Come on, get down. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, she's gone. She's gone. She's not going to distract me over there, stalking me for lunch. Anyhow, the government, okay, and it is a government or it is a authoritative takedown of they're switching midline of what they feel people want to hear or what people want to have happen. So they are taking their public people and they are saying, okay, we take these people and we're going to reinvent them so they're more palatable in a different way. Only thing is it's not going to be more palatable. So I am seeing the face of Jay-Z and Beyonce kind of shifting in the next 3 years. So by 2027, they no longer wield the public power that you think they do, and they will have to approach you in a different way. Now, on an energetic level, what I'm being told about
this would also explain the shift in Beyonce's music. Now that I'm thinking about it, this would also explain why she suddenly came out with a country song. She just literally mentioned that there was going to be a shift. Jay was going to have to turn and change his image, but she just slightly mentioned that Beyonce was also going to be doing the same thing. Their whole marriage and togetherness is going to be changed. So I'm wondering now, like I said, that she's taking a whole nother route musically, that this has something to do with it later on.
Jay-Z is that he has investments in all kinds of mind technology, aka Elon Musk. But I'm not sure it's through Elon Musk. It's in other countries, other kinds of capital venture towards the controlling of the human mindset. He has allowed portions of what he chooses to do in his life into a consciousness center where people can tap into being him. So it's almost a robotic stance where you yourself can put the goggles on and learn how to live Jay-Z's life. He's agreed to do this. So he's kind of a captive, but in a public form, and has no cognitive or conscious awareness of this. That's a weird thing to say, but that's just the way, that's the energy I'm picking up on. No conscious awareness of what's going on around him. Also, keep in mind, they are very much, and here's what I'm getting. I am getting both Jay-Z and Beyonce, because see, he procures her out there. He is her handler, and he is the one that pushes her out there public, and then he profits off her. So we're looking at, and I don't care how much talent you think they have. I don't care how much talent you think they have. She was chosen for him. It is a karmic thing looking at their chart, but she was chosen for him in order to help him get where he needed to go. So she's the muse, but let's use this in a different way. Sometimes we use the word muse in the terms of profiteering off of it. He's
puts a whole new flip on the word Destiny's Child, don't it?
Very aware of entertainers, male and female, where he needs to go to keep his money coming in and what he's actually selling. Now, this connects him to R. Kelly. High level pimping and pandering for the music industry through the trafficking. My camera cut off when I said trafficking. Through the trafficking of human beings. Okay, so I'm going to put that out there in that fashion. You, me, them. We're going to start seeing through the veil when it comes to Jay-Z, and within 3 years, public favor is removed. Now, he's not the first one to go down behind P. Diddy, but he's a close second. So it's a combination.
And that is wild that her camera moving as she's saying that shit. That's like either spiritually they watching her or just they watching her, period, number one. Number two, when I hear that, that's not the first time. It ain't the first time that word then came across with those two people. And I'm still trying to find the live where Sloan mentioned she kept saying that she kept seeing a "We Are the World" reference, right? And it was involving it was involving children. And I couldn't help but notice or think about that footage of Diddy coming out where he was like, "Yo, I got my adopted white daughter." I was like, "My what?" Then we see the girl, and she looks damn near incoherent. He's basically coaching her to talk. I'll show that clip here in a second. When we get past Lil Rob, but yeah, it was a little bit eerie that she's even mentioning this again, and that whole trafficking ring is starting to really come together. Remember, the Doral shooter mentioned it. The Doral shooter meant the Trump Doral shooter mentioned the same shit. Everybody keeps mentioning the same shit. Scooter Braun got caught for the trafficking. Scooter Braun is one of Diddy's right hand man. Scooter Braun helped negotiate. We went over this on the Takeoff Pod. Scooter Braun did the deal for 300. Excuse me, for Coach K and P for the 300 million in Korea when they sold off the Migos. When they sold off the label for the 300 million, Scooter Braun was part of that. Scooter Braun was also part of the child and sex trafficking. It's funny how all this is coming together now. You've heard Jay-Z mention Scooter Braun how many times?
That's coming after him. And when they take him down, they're going to take Beyonce down behind him. And it's going to start crumbling. Okay, so it's the next 3 years. On an energy level, what this is it is, understand, when you do occultist high level, and Jay-Z is a high level occultist, as is Beyonce. When you're involved in high level entity conjuring, which they are, when you're involved in that kind of high level type of giving yourself over to those energies, you are not really in control of what happens after a certain point. Like, no matter what anybody says, no matter how big and strong and special they think they are, when you let something into your body and you think you can control it, that's because they've let you think that you can control it, not that you can control it, okay? So when you're looking at that, I want you to understand that there is a point in time where people become known and are pushed in the direction where they can no longer get into the physical vessel or the husk. They're kind of like husky. Now, this brings me to another weird energy. When I'm looking, at the children of a lot of celebrity people, I realize that these are, I'll use the word synthetics, but they act synthetic. I'm not saying they're not human. I'm just saying synthetically inclined. I can't read the energy. And if I can't read the energy as a barometer, if I can't look at you in the eyes and read your energy and see what you're doing, then there is something that is blocking me from doing so. And now it can be a block by them, but it can also be because they come from a different origin source, okay? So what they've done in our society is they've gotten us so used to in vitro and having babies in test tubes. Do we really know if someone chooses to do that in a higher echelon, the elite as they call them, in a higher echelon, do we really know exactly what is going to happen with those creations? Because we don't. And Jay-Z and Beyonce are kind of at that level where we're not really sure where that energy came from. Whatever, it's blocked. Now, they can put a protection spell around their kid. And if I were them, I would, because the public is also crazy, okay? So the public can be crazy and they can be crazy. When I look at this, though, I see and am inclined to think that there's a lot more going on. There's a lot of substituting of energy with these two. And there's a lot of moving in the direction. And if you've ever been backstage at a concert and you watch people perform, when they come back into their physical vessel, their body, from being out of their body while they're performing, it's quite a sight. And I have seen it personally. I'm not with Beyonce and Jay-Z, but I have seen it personally. It's quite a sight to see someone come back into the physical.
Now, it's crazy how she's never seen it with them, but she's mentioning that, and it's happened quite a few times with Beyonce. It's happened with her just sitting on the sideline and she's just out of it. It's happened with her being on stage. Y'all saw the footage of her, the stills of her eyes rolling back of her head and veins popping out and shit. And she looking like a whole demon for like a good millisecond. And then she goes right back into Beyonce. She's not far-fetched on what she's saying right now.
After being out of the physical. The reason that they're out of the physical is so that they can harness powerful energy to entice people who are watching, which is what these guys are doing. Now, having said that, I get Jay-Z connected to Clive Davis, connected to P. Diddy, and so there's a succession of things happening. Clive is old right now, so he's probably next in line, but I'm kind of shooting off with Chris Brown, and then I'm shooting off with Justin Bieber, and then I'm kind of going to MC Hammer. Like, it's happening. These people are being used on different levels to take other people's money, clean it, move things all about the country under the guise of their creative talents. Now, Jay-Z, this is going to come to a screeching halt. Screeching halt. Russell Simmons pops up in the conversation. Okay, in the conversation. So I have not heard head nor tail of Russell Simmons. He pops right in right now for months. I mean, he went off somewhere and who the hell knows where he went. Those words, that hiding, will come to play in the future months. We're going to see conversation from Russell Simmons. It's either behind the scenes, something that is going to bring about a change in how the public looks at Jay-Z. There's like all kinds of things going on. He has a target directed at him because people want him found out. Beyonce does as well. This is what they're doing. Changing the candle wax, upping the game, upping the ante. The energy is very, very odd, but this is what I feel. So it's 3 years, and then in the year 2036, it no longer exists. He is a...
The only thing I can think about when she mentions Russell is Def Jam. Remember I talked about earlier in the pod, Jay got the CEO of Def Jam after Russell. So I'm wondering now if something is going to come up with that. I'm going to play a clip here in a second here that coincides with what I'm saying.
Expression of his former self, and that former self is contained in such a way that we don't recognize it, and it doesn't have the power that it wields right now. So we are in a long line of circumstances happening right now with a takedown, and it's just waiting for them to be taken down, and they've been promised otherwise. They have been promised otherwise. They, Jay-Z, Beyonce, all of the other ones I mentioned, but this is about Jay-Z, they are in the process. Now, what I am seeing is Jay-Z's beginning, okay, so the succession of being unraveled in the next 3 years starts with a burglary of something. So Jay-Z is in the process of having some connection to missing burglarized items, and it's going to come up around him. That's the first marker, and I'm not sure what it is he steals. I don't know if this is a stolen song, a stolen item, a stolen car. I don't know what it is, but it is a burglary of something. I have stolen, and now I'm being accused of taking this. And that is the beginning of it, because they will start nosing around with him. So there's like a lot of nosing around. It's in the theft of something. And by theft, I don't quite know what I mean by that, but it's by the theft of something. And when you look at that, it just draws attention to him, and they don't like attention drawn.
The only thing I can think of is him having to do with someone's publishing. That's literally the only thing I can think of. Jay has someone's publishing that we don't know of that's going to come out into the light. Jay has ownership of someone that we don't know about. It very well could be what she was mentioning would be, but because I remember the whole, how did Justin end up to be a headline on the Rock Nation tour 2 years ago? You remember that? Everybody was like, how the fuck Justin Bieber's headline on a Rock Nation tour? Remember that shit? I'm wondering if something is to do with that. If there's something to do with Beeb, him having some type of publish. He's got somebody's publishing. There's something that's going on that he's got somebody's publishing rights to something. He's got something. That's what Sloan's referring
to them. I also feel, forgive me for saying this, I sound really weird, but I also feel that when they sleep at night, they sleep in coffins. So what do I mean by that? They sleep not like you and I. They sleep in a different way, and they don't sleep till we get up. So there's a whole other shift in energy. If you were to get, they're like underground. Maybe that's what I want to say. It's an underground energy that is not observed by most people on this planet. So the behavior is beneath the surface, and that is part of what is going to be their unraveling. It's very weird energy, and I'm like all over the place again, but that is going to be the unraveling, is that they are connected energetically to a different source. And I see them connected through the solar plexus. So they hang, okay? So hang, like from the stomach, hang, like when you rise up out of the body, meaning they're not presently grounded in their physical body. I'm talking Jay-Z. Not grounded, but of course his wife, because the two are synonymous. But through the solar plexus, and so puppeteered out like that. So the behavior of them is completely controlled, and it's going to start unraveling. We give them way too much power. They're controlled by other entities around them. There is something with Justin Bieber coming up that's going to drag Jay-Z down the rabbit hole with him.
She keeps mentioning that, and I'm going to now do my due diligences and figure out what the fuck that is. I have been looking for a couple days now. It has not come up yet. But there is something there. And like I said, I think that's what I'm going to stumble upon, is he owns some type of publishing some damn where with Justin.
So we have this connection like this, and it's going to go down, down, down. It's more of a procuring issue rather than like fundamentally hands-on issue. So it's more profiteering than it is hands-on, is how I would word that. Anyway, I'm now giving myself a headache. This is my first energetic reading on Jay-Z.
Which means that there's going to be another one. Which means that there will be another one shortly. As far as her reading Jay-Z's energy, because like I said, well, as she said, I should say, next 3 years we're going to start seeing some shit. And she predicted, I remember the Kim Porter thing where she predicted Cassie's lawsuit 9 months later, and then she had to do the part 2, and the part 2 predicted the Lil Rod situation. So Sloan ain't been wrong yet. You know, she put us on the tips with Nipsey. That's a funny play on words itself. She helped us with Takeoff. When I listened to her first one with Kim, well, not first one, her second one with Kim Porter, she mentioned seeing Offset. She kept seeing something with Diddy and Offset. And that's what triggered me to even go down the rabbit hole of looking up Motown. Because I was like, what? Why is Diddy even going back to Motown? And then I was like, why is he going back the same week as Uncle and Few coming out? And then, like I said, this one thing led to another. So, to bring it back full circle with Jay, I think there's going to be something where Jay owns something with Justin, and we don't know about it. Because the only thing that could intertwine Justin Bieber and Jay-Z at all is Usher. Think about that. The main thing that intertwines Jay-Z and Bieber at all is Usher. I do believe Usher owns some of Justin Bieber. If that is the case, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Rock Nation just do business with Usher for the Super Bowl? Are we following? Yeah, there's something. There's something there. There's definitely something there that keep rippling across the water. It ain't come out yet, but something keep rippling across this water. That's for damn sure. But speaking of rocks rippling across the water, one rock that rippled across the water that struck my attention, and I kind of thought this is what she was talking about with the burglary, but it's going to be him stealing something of someone else's. But it appears there's a chess move at hand that's also going to affect Mr. Hove within these next coming years.
What's poppin', man? It's Rockefeller.
So it appears that Rockefeller Records has been purchased. And Dame was talking about selling this. Dame was talking about selling this Rockefeller Records for quite some time. I forgot he even had ownership of the shit. That was why Jay ended up saying, "Yo, I don't care about Rockefeller. I don't want no stake in Rockefeller. You can have Rockefeller, whatever that copyright is, keep it. I just want my masters." Now, being that Jay, yes, he owns the masters. Very big controlling part of things. The other side of that is the publishing. The other side of that is still the publishing, right? So if you own all the records and the publishing of those records, the masters, they matter to the person that owns them. Meaning they can do whatever they want with the songs and the records, right? And profit off of those, the masters, right? Doesn't mean that someone else can't benefit off of you having those masters. Let's get into Dame Dash letting us know that he sold Rockefeller.
What's poppin', man? It's Rockefeller. You watching all Urban Central Squad.
I already know whatever happens, I win, no matter what. So, if you got questions, ask them. So I'm fighting over my money. I'm definitely telling them trying to stop me, and I had to do it a different way. Now nobody can stop me. I'm selling all that. So, I'm gonna do a legit interview about it so I can hit y'all to the game. But if you remember, I was trying to sell it at a public auction before stopping me. So I had to figure out how to get that done. So it's done. But regardless of what, in between that time, I'm creating culture. So download America New. I need y'all to check it out. Hold on.
So, word had started going out that Rockefeller Records had been bought, right? But Dame wasn't the first people to let out the news. Cam and Mase were. Now, the main reason I had Dame muted was because of his copyrighted music. But, I mean, y'all could read and make out what the hell he was saying.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in more than 30 states, including California, Florida, Texas, and New York, just to name a few. Make sure to support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog Fantasy app. They'll also match your first deposit up to $100.
They're going to get right into it.
Everything good. How you doing, man?
Good. You looking sharp.
Likewise. Another ring to match the glasses. I never seen nobody do it, man. The wedding ring stunt. Another ring to match the glasses. Every ring matches the glasses. That's a stunt, man.
I'm feeling rich, you know?
You've been feeling rich for a long time, man. It's been a couple decades, more than that, man.
Okay, so before we even get into the questions, I'm hearing some things, and I don't know if people know, so I figured I might as well ask y'all, which is a crazy statement to even ask, but I'm going to ask y'all. I'm hearing that y'all are about to get Rockefeller from Dame Dash. Is that true? Straight to it. Is that true? It's actually Ask Cam and Mase today.
Let's just say.
You see their reaction to it, right? You see and hear their reaction to it. These two are very, very subliminal with things like this. But I think we can all hear through the laughs what happened.
Hey, killer. I did for $20. Times who knows how much. Let's just say hypothetically, right?
Yeah, hypothetically.
Oh man.
Hypothetically.
Would that be like
hypothetically did it happen?
I have a secret. I might want to tell you I've been working on.
Okay. Me too.
You do. But let's just say if I did know something, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to answer that right now, Stat. Hypothetically, it might have happened already. Hypothetically.
Would that be a grandmaster chess move?
I'm just doing business, bro. I'm not here.
Notice how Mase had to throw that in there too, that little subliminal of this is just, would that be a grandmaster chess move? He had to emphasize the grandmaster part. And look at Cam when he said that.
I'm not here trying to play games of chess against anybody. I'm here solely for businesses. I'm not on the chessboard with anyone. I'm just here to solely do business the proper way.
Man.
That's pretty much it, man.
So since you're here to do business, allegedly.
You know what's crazy? Why we act like we're not together? But guys, listen, I'm here to do business, hypothetically speaking.
Of course we're doing business together, you know.
You hear how sarcastic he said that, though. Of course we're doing business together, but Mase knows the same thing that Cam knows. This was basically a move for Dame to give it to Cam. This move was basically to spite Jay-Z. If you guys remember, back in the day, the beef between Cam and Jay started, which really has never ended, actually. The beef between Cam and Jay started when Dame had gave Cam the president of Rockefeller, and Jay had nothing to do with it. He was on vacation, didn't know about it. He came back, he's hearing all these new records. Then he hops on the Welcome to New York City record, and you hear them two going at it. And then the whole old boy shit happens with the verse being taken off and yada, yada, yada. Okay? So this is a long time stemming pettiness beef between Jay and Cam. That's why Mase had to be sarcastic and say there, like, yeah, we in business, but we all know whose play this actually is.
Whatever business that is. I feel like rubbing the Birdman hands, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely a Birdman hand rub right here.
I love it when a plan come together.
Yeah,
but let's just say
20 years in the making.
Yeah, if we did, would you think? Would you? Since we're doing business, who would you sell it to?
Right now, I just probably will hold on to it for a little while.
Like the Wu-Tang album?
Yeah. Exactly, man. I think I'm going to hold on for a little while. So we bought the Reasonable Doubt, you'll hold it for a little while. Yeah, I mean, what would you like to do? I mean, it's because got to realize what we got in our possession, hypothetically in our possession.
Yeah.
It's a classic, man.
It's a classic.
It's a classic, and to be like, it's ours, hypothetically. People can come talk to me. I'm on business. People come talk to me, but I don't know at this point, right? The phone's open. The phone line is definitely open.
Do you mind if I say who I would sell it to?
Oh, no, not at all.
Oh, I was thinking, this morning, I was thinking if I had it,
Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah, who would I sell it to? First, I was thinking, man, I'd probably sell it to Drake. Drake probably would want to buy it from me.
Okay.
Hypothetically,
yeah. Drake could definitely be interested.
Yeah.
Drake was trying to buy Evander Holyfield's earlobe. Pause.
Beats in the ear. Yeah, Drake. You a wild boy for that.
Drake is out here copping shit. He bought Pharrell's his skateboard chains. I actually done some business with Drake. I'll let him announce it, whatever he wants to announce it. But he's out here copping shit. He's definitely copping. And you know what? Shout out to Chubbs too, OVO Chubbs. When I was like, we was doing business with Drake, and I was like, I don't want to, I can't let this go for this price. And OVO Chubbs said, you can't offend us.
Yeah.
I said, I'm telling you, I'm gonna want something reasonable. We say, you know what, Cam, if it's like that, write it down on the paper and slide it over like the mob.
So that's what I think I'll do. Hypothetically, I'll go to the brunch the next time.
Okay.
And I'll do something good for hip hop.
All right.
I'll sell it back to the original owners.
Okay, that's what you think about?
Yeah, and be a hero instead of a villain with it.
That'd be pretty nice. That's a pretty nice guy.
Yeah.
The bigger person.
Yeah, I'll be the bigger person.
That's what's up.
I'll sell it back.
Stout, holla at me, man.
And be the bigger person,
Stout,
the pettiness of the stout holla at me.
Do it for hip-hop,
Yeah, that's what's up. That's dope.
The pettiness of the stout holla at me, man line that Jay used to use. Wow.
That's dope, man. That's dope.
Well, I don't know what plans are near or what plans have been done, but
the secret you had, Killer.
Yeah, that's pretty much. It's a little more than my shit, but I just want to wait till everything is done.
It's
not
great.
what we talk about. It's a little extra piece to it. Because somebody reached out about it, and hypothetically, somebody reached out about it, and this person, I don't know, man. Because you know why? I'm just trying to be where you at and do something good for hip hop. I'm just on business. And the person who called me, or I didn't, through a third party when they found out that we was acquiring, allegedly. Hypothetically acquiring Dame's third, Rockefeller, the Reasonable Doubt album. When they found out about it, their third party called out, and they was like, "Let me get that," and I'm like. Yeah, because I'll put it like this. This is two heavyweights battling, two big heavyweights battling. Hit a nigga with a bomb, another nigga hit another nigga with a bomb.
I think the same person called me.
Another nigga hit him with a bomb. Then the nigga did some business shit and kind of put him under the wing on some business shit. So now the nigga he put under wing years ago on some business shit is like, I need that. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to be in the middle of all that, but it's definitely interesting.
That's why I said I'll be the hero instead of the villain. Because I thought to sell it to him would make me the villain.
I'm just here to do proper business,
you
man. I'm not here on villain. I have no feelings or emotion in it. Not even a little bit.
To sell it to him would make me the villain. The subliminal games that these two are playing. I think Sloan Bella really was on to something to where there's going to be a play here. And she mentioned Russell Simmons. The only thing I can think of with Russell Simmons was Def Jam. And when I think of Def Jam, I also think of Rockefeller.
I was thinking. I'm just a kid playing.
Hey, Hey, you a little devious to me. I'm just here to do things the proper way.
Yeah. Hypothetically, when I woke up, I said, this can't be real.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either, to be honest with you. Well, look, I'm just here to do business the right way. That's pretty much
We don't
all I
want
can
no
say.
enemies. We just here to do good
listen,
business.
man, if you look, let me tell you something. A lot of people hate us and they never gonna get over it. It's just they can't do nothing about it. You know, at the end of the day, they gonna shake our hand, smile. And I'm not talking about nobody in particular. I'm talking about a lot of niggas in general.
Yeah.
We just ain't going nowhere. It just wasn't in the cards for us to be not here.
Yeah.
But this isn't about if you like us or not. This is about if you want to do business the right way. My line's available, and we're open to talk. We're definitely open to talk.
It's good for hip hop, you know?
Oh, it's definitely.
It's good for hip hop.
Yeah, listen, so a random could have got it.
Yeah.
A random could have got it.
Yeah,
So,
hypothetically. I'm just saving it from the vultures.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's in good hands. It's definitely in good hands, man.
All right.
Congratulations, hypothetically.
You owe me $1.
Yeah, I do owe you $1.
I told you we'd be back.
I definitely, if I had a single on me, you know what?
I told you we would be back. Back to you.
Sorry about
No,
that.
it's all good. That was a great answer. This is honestly a real life movie, but okay.
Movie.
But yeah.
It's not yet.
It ain't started yet.
They are having the time of their lives right now, if y'all don't hear.
Movie ain't started yet.
Yo, my 2024 couldn't have been better.
This is a great start, yeah.
I know I have nothing in my runway. I'm just flying.
Yeah.
So, you heard it here first. Well, not heard it here first, of course, but you heard it here. Cam and Mase definitely have bought Rockefeller Records. What they plan to do with it remains to be seen. But I do think that whatever they're going to do is going to be something that's going to be very petty, knowing Cam, that's going to bring Jay out some type of way. I'm not talking about him bringing him out on a rap level. I'm talking about bringing him out on a business level. These two are definitely going to do something that brings him out on a business level to where Jay got to play out here in these streets. The paperwork. So there's going to be something that happens there. I can definitely assure you there. I'm going to do my due diligence as far as the information on Justin Bieber because, like I said, him even coming into play, like I said, is a very tricky situation. But I do see it somewhere. Like I said, I do believe that there is something to do with the publishing of him. Thus why he was able to headline 2021 Rock Nation tour. There's something that's with him there.